This summer I was vacationing in my own country due to the current situation, and I explored many new places. One of them was the Abbey of Utstein. My name is Viggoman, and join me as we try to recreate this beautiful abbey in Minecraft. The trip to the Abbey of Utstein was pretty spontaneous. It was just a sign we saw along the road as we're traveling, and me and my girlfriend decided to check it out. I really wish I knew ahead of time that I was going there so I could do some research, because it's just a beautiful medieval abbey or monastery on the western coast of Norway. But when we get there, we was greeted by this super friendly monk. He gave us a flyer about the history of the abbey, as well as, which is kind of my favorite part, the floor plan of the entire abbey, labeling every room, making it just perfect for me to recreate in Minecraft. And when I say recreate, I mean, as I always do, I try to take inspiration from it. You know, I never really recreate something 100%. I just take inspiration and overall ideas, but then I put in a little bit of the Viggoman spice in there, change a little bit of the floor plans, and add a little bit more detail or remove some details I don't like to just make it my own and present it in the way I think it looks the best. In previous videos, I've mentioning my concern about the new update of Conquest Reforged. It's absolutely beautiful, so many new blocks, it looks fantastic, but the problem is there is actually no way for me to keep making the exact same kind of content that I prefer, having these long, beautiful time lapses of me creating something. So what I've decided to do for this video, and I'm gonna try to see if it actually works in practice, is to build the basic foundation in Conquest Reforged 1.12 using the time-lapse tools, the replay mod, as I usually do, and then convert it over once I'm done with that, and then add the final details and interiors using the newest version. With that, I'm trying to bring you guys the best form of time lapses, as well as updated building techniques and ideas using the newest version, and hopefully we can kind of tie those together and create one nice final product. So here we have the rough edition of the Utstein Abbey, and it's looking very good so far. I'm digging it a lot. I've added a little bit of details like along the windows here and stuff, but those might change as we start with the new version here. Really love the gradient we got going here, trying to get like a rough looking building with a not so rough looking gradient, going from like darker all the way up to white plaster. That might also change as I think we get some more blocks in this kind of color pattern in the newest version, so we might add some more just to ease the transition a little bit more. But yeah, the idea of this monastery here is that on the northern side we have this bigger building, and there we have the nave, the tower, and the chancel, whatever we call that, like the chapel, I guess. It's pretty big and open in here. We're gonna have two different sections here, and then the tower in the middle. And luckily I have the floor plan, so this was all a lot easier than in the past. Then in this building here we have the feast halls, or the refectory for the brothers, but also the monks. Or yeah, on this side we have the kitchen. Up above we're gonna have sleeping halls and that kind of stuff. In here we're gonna have a little library, meeting rooms and stuff like that for the monks and priests and stuff. And up here we're gonna have, yeah, you can see we have the a little kitchen here. We have the great hall. We're gonna have two small chambers over here, library, chapter house, which is all part of the floor plan I got from the flyer. Are you still watching? If so, I kindly want to ask you to consider hitting that like button and subscribing if you haven't. It's the best way of showing support to what I do. But now, let's get on with the 1.15 part of the monastery. I've been playing around with the new blocks for a little bit and started the interior of the northern part of the abbey, meaning the part where we have the nave and the chancel as well as the tower here. And I'm gonna just give you a quick tour of what we have so far, and then we'll kind of take it step by step. I think that would be the best way of doing these kind of videos. You come in here, we have this big open room. I'm not entirely sure about this one. I might scale it down and take the details and prettiness a little bit down, because I think I've kind of hit a sweet spot with the other rooms. So on this side here we have the nave, and it's looking pretty. I love the plastered walls like that, and the little cross there in the back, and these massive windows on either side like that. Some custom cupboards and stuff. And then over here we have the chancel, and this is where the ceremonies would be held. We have a lot of benches for mostly the monks would sit here, and then we have the pulpit over here to present the good stories and stuff, you know, from here. And then in the back here, I couldn't really figure out why we had this separation here. Yeah, in many of the pictures I used for reference, there was this separation in the chancel here, and in the back here we had like this cross. This is a very wanky looking cross, but it sells it as a cross, kind of. It kind of works. And then like some candles and stuff, and a little bit of decoration, and then a large big kind of stained glass window in the back there, and it's looking very, very cool. The next part on the building agenda is the interior of this building right here, and it's more of a, I want to call the utility building, but it's not really utility. But we have like a library here, we have the chapter house, which is like a simple meeting room for the monks, a little kitchen for the monks to prepare themselves some simple food, a great hall or just a hall to hang out in, some chambers for them, a little storage up above, and it's all for like doing everyday tasks like reading the Bible, having meetings, discussing stuff. So let's check out the interior for this one here. The first room we got here is a big open hallway or stairway, and it's very empty, and I still have to figure out what exactly to put here, because when I visited the Abbey there was nothing here. It was just plain like this, but I want to utilize this little area we got here. But if we go up the staircase here, and we get to like the main parts of this area here, a little hallway which has a staircase leading up to the attic like that, a little door into a small kitchen over here. Love the new furniture blocks we have. We have some simple food and area to prepare simple food for yourself, I guess. There's going to be like a bigger kitchen where they will have dinner and stuff being made. But here we have a hall as well where you can just sit down and relax and chat, I guess. And we have this little oven here to heat it up. And then in the floor plan, I couldn't really figure out what this was, but there was a red chamber and a blue chamber. I've been doing a lot of research, but I couldn't really figure out what that meant. I do believe it's just the wallpaper. So I decided to just go for a red for both, because that was easier when it comes to the rest of the interior here. But we have a blue bed and blue like canopy here for the blue chamber, like that. And then we have the red chamber here with the red bed and like a red detailed canopy like that above. And I assumed that will be for like higher ranked monks or priests and stuff, like leaders that are kind of in charge in this place. The floor plan didn't really tell me what was up in the attic here, and I was not allowed to go up there myself, so I just assumed they would use it for some storage like we have here. So yeah, chests, storage, barrels, crates, all that kind of stuff. Really got to point out this detail in the ceiling here, the supports for the roof. I love the new blocks we have with the 1.15 version. Being able to do these kind of crossbeam frameworks like that is just beautiful. There is also 2 more rooms in the first floor of this section here that we got to check out. So we come in here, we have the chapter house or meeting room. Decided to try out these slightly indented walls just for some depth. So it's not really possible to add anything to them, but they look kind of cool, I think. And then just like a sitting area here to sit down, read and discuss, I guess, make plans. Very simple, but it works like that. And then this leads down into a library, and it's not the biggest library, but it's a small abbey, I think. So we have this big bookshelf here, and then we have these reading stations. We have 2 of them where we can sit down, we can pick down like a book and read and write and whatever you want to do in there. And I really love the design of these ones for just reading like that, which is really cool. And then just like some prettification here, some decor. and this then leads out to the courtyard again. The next thing on the agenda was to furnish this bit of the building over here, the southern part, which is the second largest building in the abbey here, next to the area where we have the chapel and stuff. So what we have here is we have the refectories for the brothers or the monks, and also for the people helping them, like the servants, like common people. And basically what we have here is then a big hall, like dining hall, which is like the refectory for the monks here. They would sit here, and from what I know, this is where they had to eat completely silent. Like they would just sit here and eat and pray. So kind of a big, nice hall, chill to just sit here and pray and stuff. And then we have this big oven here to heat it all up. Love playing around with these new blocks. We can kind of create these cool borders like that, and new kind of furniture, or furniture styles, such as these fireplaces and stuff. And then this has a little door leading out to the back here, which will be one of the later steps, is to add all of this up together. From the refectory we have direct access to the kitchen, which is over here, which is in the middle of this building here, where we have a lot of cupboards, a little oven here, a lot of areas to work to prepare the foods and stuff. And I just love the vibe we got going here. These new copper blocks are amazing, just add so much life to a kitchen like this. So this is kind of what we have here. And this is then also accessed from the courtyard directly, as you can see. And then on the opposite side of this building here, we have the refectory, or the dining hall, for the common people, or the servants, the people that are kind of helping out here, but are not spending all their time here. So they have a little dining hall here. And then nice little bookshelf here, or a shelf with probably some fancy glasses and other things. I really like that. And just some beautiful views. Absolutely stunning, looking down over the river there like that. So that is this little room over here. But from here we can actually access the upper floor, which you go up through here, where we have a little sitting area for the people like that. Again, fun to play around with the woodwork or the framings of the ceilings here. But from here we can go this way, and straight ahead we have the sleeping hall, or where we have just tons of beds. I think we have enough for, how many would that be? That would be 24 beds for 24 monks staying here at all times. As well as the higher leader monks, priests and stuff that we already covered. And they have a little area here to sit and stuff like that. Really love the vibe in this little hall here. We have a little oven to heat it up in colder times as well. And then out in the hallway here we can access the wardrobe, where we're just commonly keeping all the robes they would wear. I kind of assumed that the monks didn't have too much to choose from, so just having one place to store all of them kind of makes sense in my head. I also worked a little bit on the courtyard and this little building over here. So what I did was added some minor detail here, just weathering down the walls a little bit. And over here we have a big weathering happening. I kind of imagined that there was some kind of mold or growth happening in the wall, and a lot of the stone just fell off. So they're trying to repair that now. So here we have some plaster. They're just kind of pulling that up and trying to cover it up, and that kind of stuff just adds a little bit of history to the place. Then we built a little tree here and added some vegetation overgrowth on the ground, in the corners like these, just to make it feel alive in a way. And there's also some small things happening in here. So here we have a brewery, a very small brewery, just enough to supply the abbey here. We have a little grain mill up here. We can drop the stuff in here. It's all grained and stuff, and then you mash it and make beer out of it and put it in here. And eventually I'm gonna do a little cellar for storing that kind of stuff. And then here we have a little tool shed, so you're storing some brooms, skite, axes, whatever you kind of need just to go by in the life as a monk in Utstein Abbey. I wasn't originally planning on doing this, but I decided to add a little garden in the front of the monastery, actually around it, just a little bit on the back as well, which will include just some big open grass fields like lawns and stuff for the monks to maybe relax. But also we have some minor farms for vegetables and the stuff you need, as well as some enclosures for pigs and stuff. And there's also a little bit of an apple orchard in the back here to provide some nice sweet apples for the monks. And overall, I just think that adding these surrounding bits really just ties the entire monastery into the landscape a little bit more. It makes it feel like a part of the entire area surrounding it. So how it now works is that we have this path which will eventually maybe lead onto some other parts, maybe a little village and preferably like a bridge maybe over the river here, and then going this way as well, and then just leading into the gardens of the monastery here. So we have like this little hedge here separating the lawn over there. I guess we could just jump over like that. So this would be like a place you could just sit, just pray and relax and meditate, whatever. And there's like a nice tree here as well. I gotta say though that playing with the new branch blocks in the 1.15 version it's fun, but it's super frustrating as well. If you haven't tried, I recommend you just playing along a little bit with it and you'll understand my frustration with the new blocks here, but they do look amazing though. Here we have like some fields. This is some lavender. Maybe they use that for coloring textiles and creating like potions and stuff. And then we have like, I think this is carrots, we have cabbage, beets, and stuff like that, like just along the path here. And then in the back we have a little apple orchard here. Look at this beautiful small trees. For smaller trees it's just fun because it's not too tricky doing these branches. But and then on the side here we have like some enclosures for pigs. Maybe you could have your horses here, some sheep, whatever. But just like alongside here for supplying the monks with some simple meat and maybe even some wool, whatever. Just along here, and just ties it all like into the landscape here a little bit. I think that's really cool. I've also added the cellars I talked about. So if you just walk along here, look how beautiful this is. I love this place so much. If you just walk over here and then down here, so I added a little staircase which goes down like this into like the basements or the cellars. And down here we have like stuff stored. We have some food, we have barrels of beer and wine and all that kind of stuff. Love the vaulted ceiling, just playing with the new blocks like that, amazing. And just like general storage, it's not too big but it's sufficient, I think. Eventually I would love to give you guys a complete tour of the Abbey here if you guys want to, so let me know down below. But for now, let's turn up some music and just give some nice quick cinematic shots of what we built in today's video. And that, my friends, was the video of me recreating the Abbey of Utstein in Minecraft. I really hope that you enjoyed. If so, make sure to smack that like button, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe, and I will see all of you guys later. It's been Viggoman, and I'm out.